What's going on, everybody out there? Welcome back to another podcast number 319. And this is going to be a little bit different. Audio may sound a little bit different because we are no longer doing a podcast all in the same room. This is kind of like COVID times. Doing it through Discord. So that will be the first promotion, is we are pumping this out through Discord. If you want to go ahead and listen on in, hit us on up, EGS Productions. But without further ado, obviously my name is Steve. I do have two other people with me. One within the state, one in another state. Let's get introductions. Yeah, let's get introductions out of the way. So since you went and talked, who are you?
I'm Chris from Boston.
And we got another person out there who is remaining silent.
Hey, Leo's here today, making my appearance.
That's right. Leo, Nasty Civic from out there on the Twitch side of things. Every Thursday he comes through with his non-commentary broadcast, but you still do respond in the chat. I have noticed, because you respond to me when I get in there and tell you good luck or berate you for dying or something.
God damn.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not
back.
yeah, I mean, there's only so much that you can text out there, especially in the platform of Twitch, because they are very particular on what they want to have come out and what they don't want to have come out.
Yeah.
But it's totally fine, because it's a great way of communicating, and I can see what Leo is doing and making sure he's pumping out content for EGS and hold him accountable.
I enjoy it. The only one I haven't been enjoying is Atomic Heart.
You have a couple games now in your possession that you are doing. So let's talk about, let's do our scheduled content that we have coming out. Leo, what day do you have?
Yeah, so we had, we did Last of Us Part 1, and then I think we're going to continue into Part 2 next. Sniper Elite 5 is on the list also. But I had somebody watching Part 1, so they want to see Part 2. It's actually somebody I used to work with, and I'm not surprised he still checks out the stream. So, and he watched pretty much the entire thing. So I'm going to continue that, and then a Doom should be up in the Doom should be the next one after that. So that's what's in the pipeline.
And then for Thursdays right now, we have Astro Boy. So those broadcasts that you've done, that was a couple months ago, right? When those were done?
Yeah, so we're still got the historic ones coming out. Yep, and that includes like all the challenges for the trophies. And I think I actually complete all of them. I complete all the challenges on that one. So yeah, it's a pretty long stream, that one.
Yeah, that's going to be coming out, I believe, over 10 different parts. And then on Friday is Far Cry 6, Saturday is S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, Sunday is Halo Infinite, and Monday is State of Decay 2. Chris, we need to get you on there doing some broadcasting. Are you still playing Grand Theft Auto?
I'm doing the RP periodically. Right now I've mostly been playing Starfield again. They had like a couple new added content. So I've been replaying that a little bit. I'm doing those. They actually did a bundle with Dune. So I just got finished with that little set of missions the other night. Yeah, so there's 5 Dune plushies that you can find. There's a super shotgun that you pick up, and then it brings you to this weird this area that's supposed to kind of be the cult worshipping everything. And once you get towards the end, you end up finding the actual suit itself.
Oh, that is a cool thing. Wow.
Yeah, so they have the Dune suit involved, and then they also have the one of the blades as well.
And when it comes to the actual Doom game, are you gonna play that? Leo, I know you're already gonna play it. I am gonna want to do some achievement guides for it, for probably the collectibles and a few other the secret achievements.
I probably will check it out. I know they're all on Game Pass, but I've just been kind of doing a few other things right now where gaming has just kind of been a backseat. That's why I'm just kind of replaying Starfield, because it's a slow-paced game and everything's still grouped into one. So it's you just remember where you remember everything from once you kind of just restart the game in general. So
very cool. I was gonna say you guys are both on Game Pass, you and Steve.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, so that's a great segue. What are we playing What's everything on your list, Chris?
Like I said, Starfield right now. Hold on, let me bring it up on the Xbox app because it just tells you like everything that you played recently.
Leo, you're coming next, so watch out.
Okay, sure.
Starfield, I've been replaying. Kind of doing like a new, continuing like my new game plus on there. I've been replaying a little bit of Jedi Fallen Order here and there. Kind of started replaying a little bit of Battlefront 2 as well. Gears has been like back in my little mix, and I kind of played Oblivion for a little bit recently. And then I played like PUBG as well.
The remake? Are you playing the remake?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Leo, what you got?
Yeah, so for me, I started Atomic Heart. I was streaming it, but that is, I don't know if you guys have played that one, but I was not enjoying it. Have you guys played Atomic Heart?
No.
Chris, have you played it?
No, I don't think I've even heard of it.
Okay, yeah, it's I know a lot of people enjoyed it. Actually, my sister asked me to stream it. So I was trying to, do that stream for her because she does watch our streams. But I just can't get into it. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. So I'm gonna, since Ryan reached out, that's the guy that watched part 1. I'll probably switch that one for Last of Us Part 2, the remaster, and then I also have Sniper Elite 5 on the list, and yeah, that's what's going to be next. That's what I've been trying to get done. So
for myself, absolutely no Fortnite. So I'm happy to report on no Fortnite.
About time.
Been holding strong. I think there was maybe an hour or two on that I played it with somebody, and it was upon request. And then right after, I was completely done. Uninstalled it, so I was happy to uninstall that and gain some more space. So with that extra space, I did download obviously the new Doom game and also BioShock Remastered. So I want to jump into both of those. But for right now, it has been Halo Infinite, a lot of multiplayer. Pretty much every week I've been playing that. Same with every week I've been playing S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. Yeah. Not so much of State of Decay 2. Kind of got burnt out on that, but I am still playing it because we have State of Decay 3 coming out at some point. And then I did re-download Minecraft Dungeons. I want to give that a shot. I've seen some people playing it, and I don't know. We'll see on how it goes.
For a minute, I honestly thought you were about to say Microsoft Flight Simulator.
When it comes to flight simulator games, I do remember having a setup when I was probably say in my late teens. I had a nice setup with a joystick, well, a couple different joysticks. I had a racing simulator one too. But yeah, I got into it. It was a lot of fun. And I know that people are really, really into those flight simulator games because they're still coming out every single year.
Yeah, that was back when like a lot of stuff was actually fucking cheaper.
Farming Simulator. My God, that game is still pumping itself out every single year like it's a Madden title. It's amazing that they have a community.
Yeah, same with Goat Simulator as well. That's been like kind of having its thing as well.
Of all games, Goat Simulator. I do remember when Goat Simulator came out, it was kind of like a what the fuck is this? But it was also a lot of fun. And that was one of those kind of games where you can see yourself spending hours to maybe accomplish something. And I guess the footprint of the first game, you really didn't have a whole lot of space to do some stuff. And it was very simple. And everybody loves it. I mean, shit. Yeah, exactly. They're still coming out with it. My God.
How are you enjoying S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2?
Oh, fuck that game. I will say the first, I first seen it on the Game Pass. It's like, all right, it looks cool. I like the premise of it. Did not know that it was more of an RPG style to where you're going to do a lot of dialogue, do a lot of talking, do a lot of grinding. And that first stream that I did of it, I was so fucking close of just saying the hell with it, uninstalling it, but I already did everything when it comes to a layout. I did custom music for it. So I put time into the project to get ready because I thought this was going to be a game that I was going to play for 60, 80, 100 hours. But after that first stream, I did not take things into consideration. And those things would be although it's a video game, you kind of need to fucking sleep. If you're not going to sleep, you're going to get hungry a lot, then you're going to be more prone to radiation and going through the different parts of the map. I didn't have any what they call artifacts. So when I was getting close to anomalies, the artifacts would not be doing anything. When I was in some kind of minor radiation zone, I went back and I watched me on that stream and I was getting goddamn frustrated. I was getting so frustrated to where I ended up stopping the stream and I had to walk away from it. And the second time when it came back around, I said, okay, let's go ahead and try out something different. I was able to gain progression in the game. And to the point now where I don't mind playing it. I can probably sit here and play the game for another 8 hours straight, get up from my chair just a few times. But the more you play the game, the more you find stuff, the better the game is going to be. So I have kind of a basic armor setup that I found early on in the game that is working. And same with my weapons too. Now the artifacts that I am able to find, this one, for example, it is maximum bleed protection. So if you're going to get shots, if you're going to run across something, so there's an anomaly, for an example, and it's just shards of fucking glass out in the middle of a goddamn field. If you run into it, you're going to get hurt. And then if you don't take care of it with the bandage, you're going to bleed out. So with this artifact, you can go ahead and keep this on your person and it will go ahead and patch you up. So I really technically don't need to have any kind of I need to have a first aid kit, but I don't need to have a bandage kit on my quick access. And you only have so much weight as well that you can carry.
Mm-hmm.
So that does take into effect on how much you can go pick up and walk back with it. But for that artifact, for example, I had to put it into a lead container. And of course, that lead container costs a lot of fucking money, and you have to go to a certain vendor to do it. Could I have looked online and seen where it was? Sure. I'm sure there's interactive maps and everything out there to make this a whole lot easier for me. I have gotten stumped on just a few minor things that I have to use the internet for. But with the game, I can easily see myself spending 100 plus hours on it and still not being anywhere done. And it's cool, with the last update, they did change these anomalies. And the anomalies are kind of like the danger zones, kind of like certain things that will pop up in the map. And speaking of the map and the environment, survival is interesting out there, and they call it the zone. You'll get random NPCs that will just be getting slaughtered by this creature. It's I don't know if they want. Oh, it's called a bloodsucker, I believe, and it's like the fucking Predator from the movie Predator. Okay. It's camo. You can't fucking see it. You know when it's by you, but when it gets close to you, then that's when it'll go ahead and start to rip you apart. And it's fast, but there's very weird things that happens in the game. But it's very cool in the game because it's very odd. It will work in your favor, or it will completely work against you. Your guy is apparently. It does make sense that you take an astronomical amount of fall damage, which is fucking stupid. But if you're there in a radiation zone, I would have to think that eventually radiation will start to get into your bones and start to make everything very brittle. But your person is very brittle. That's the best way of fucking saying it. It's a good game. I like it. I cannot wait for it to be over so I can jump in and play something else. But I don't have anything in my roster for another long game. You know, I came off of Far Cry 6. Before that, it was Dead Island 2. And I dumped at least 60 hours into both of those games. So it's great to have a nice long game with an open map, open world. You can go at your own pace type of deal with it. For me, it's a fresh game. It's boring, though. It is boring as shit. You're walking around and there's no music. There's no nothing. It's just wind. I found myself when these, I don't want to call them emissions, but there's something that happens to where your entire world, and this is where everything resets for you out in the environment. Everything will reset. But when everything resets, it is to a point to where the skies turn red and the radiation is just everywhere. And if you're out there, you cannot be in some bullshit structure. You have to be in an actual building, down in a basement, something. And there's been so many times where I've been in the middle of a map and not being able to be by any structures, and you have to run, you have to use energy drinks, and then you have to fucking eat. And it's just such a pain in the ass when you find yourself in that situation. So again, you don't know when that kind of shit's going to come up. It just fucking happens out of nowhere. So it's very unpredictable, and that's what I like about it, is the unpredictability. It does keep it fresh. But yeah, Stalker 2, fuck that game.
Yeah.
Out of 5 stars, I'm probably going to give it a 4 out of 5 right now. It's just, it's a frustrating game, as you were saying.
Is this, what difficulty are you on?
Oh, I'm on bitch difficulty. I'm on the easiest difficulty. So, if I'm having this much of a fucking problem, could you imagine one step up? My God, I probably would have thrown this game if I had a physical copy of it after I broke it over my knee across the office.
So you're saying it could be a lot worse?
Oh my God, yes, it could be a whole lot worse. And, like when I go through and I play Doom, I'm probably going to play it on the easiest difficulty. When I started off State of Decay, the first one, and the second one, the Juggernaut Edition, I started off in the easier difficulty. Now with the Juggernaut Edition for State of Decay 2, I am one level underneath the hardest difficulty. So I will go back through and play a game on harder difficulty if I enjoy it. So far, I've played Stalker 2 for 1 day, 22 hours, and 53 minutes. Damn. No, fuck my life, right? So when it comes to, oh man, where's the last 5 years gone? I've only played 3 games. So this can be one of those games. And if it was on harder difficulty, I would be much less into the story progression than what I am now. And yes, I still can go through and blow through some of the story, and I believe that I would be much further along even on an easier difficulty. But I like the exploration side of, okay, I need to grind coupons, and I need to go here and do this and do that. It's nice not having to worry about, you run across one thing and know that it's going to be so detrimental to your survival that you are not going to get back home. So you're going to have to drop all your loot, you're going to have to run, you're going to have to come on back. And depending on the difficulty, the less items are, and obviously the harder it is, right? So I want to have a good experience with a game that I don't really want to, I don't want to say that I don't want to play to begin with. It's not my kind of game. I don't mind RPGs. I don't mind MMORPGs. This game of Stalker 2 is fresh on the Xbox. I have never played another Stalker title. It has primarily been on the PC from my understanding. So this is something that I'm being brought into this series. I'm appreciating the story for what it is. It's interesting. I do wish there was a more multiplayer or even a multiplayer side to it that I can bring other people in, and not to have it more of a Fallout 76 feel where you can build your own base. But if you're able to do that kind of stuff, I can see where they can make this into for the masses and have it be done very well. But the game right now, it's a bit broken on the single player side.
Yeah.
So if they were doing it on the multiplayer side, I can only imagine the problems that it would cause for it.
So there's no way to bring anybody in to play with you. There's no co-op of any kind at the moment.
Nope. Unless it comes at a certain point in the game, it's nothing that I've been able to see, run across. And there's a Stalker community. Believe it or not, there's a community built around this fucking game. And I've noticed this now on the Twitch broadcast. And I've had a couple people jump in, and I would get a follow from them. So I'll go ahead and follow them back, watch their stream, support their stream.
Oh, cool.
And the loads, I would say 20 to 30 people for each streamer they have dedicated to this game, that when they hop on and they play Stalker 2, those same 20 to 30 people are always coming back and watching those streamers. Because it's just the thrill of it. Are they much better than me at it? Oh, yeah, big time.
Mm-hmm.
They have a much more of a personality too. I guess I more or less have a personality of a speed bump, and I don't have the wildest streams. I'm not one of those people that are gonna, I'll shoot out a good one-liner that's probably straight out of an 80s or 90s film, but I'm not gonna be acting stupid and not going out of my personality to go ahead and gain some more streamers or some more followers. It's just like you, Leo. you stream, you have fun, you do your thing, right? You want to keep it genuine.
You remember when I did those Gettysburg streams, that old strategy game from the 90s? I remember you got a ton of hits because it's got a cult following. Do you remember when I did those?
I remember the Gettysburg streams. I do.
Yeah.
And I also remember because that was a Let's Play side of things when we started to do that. And you're still getting comments and likes and people wanting to see more of those. So there's nothing. We'll get to the community side here in a little bit during the podcast, but nothing came through this time on it. I do want to say within the last 3 months, though, there was another large rush that came from that game. So I don't know if there was something that sparked that game, but that's another very cool thing too. Yeah, so like when the Borderlands movie came out, a lot of the people would go ahead and start to play the old Borderlands games. When they started to remaster and all this bullshit, same thing, Borderlands 4 is going to be coming out. So there's been a lot of talks about the Borderlands videos that were done, I don't know, like 10 fucking years ago. That was one of the very first games that I remember doing here for EGS is Lost Loots. That video has got an astronomical amount, and I mean, you go back and you watch the quality of those videos, they are fucking horrible. My voice, I sound so happy. I sound like I'm full of joy and I'm full of inspiration. Like this is going to be a career. And now it's like now it's like,
hey guys, welcome to
10 years later, I didn't die. Here I am. So maybe tomorrow it'll happen, but this is what I'm doing. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Sound more like Eeyore as the years go on, right?
Hey, you guys.
But it's also it's very funny to see on how that kind of stuff does come out and how people just it's crazy to see that stuff, but also believe, gentlemen and lady, because I know the wife's in the chat somewhere. We have a lot of videos. I mean, I'm talking over 2,000 videos, right? There's a large catalog of stuff. So a lot, like even the Lego videos. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I cannot believe those fucking Lego videos. One Lego video is over 1 million views. And I think it was a Harry Potter one.
Wow.
Never would have thought. Never would have fucking thought that would happen, right? Just very strange. All right, we have gone through everything that we are playing. Let's go ahead and talk about what's going on in the gaming news. So when it came to the games that we had out last month, something that I did download for the Xbox, but it finally came out on the PS5, is Age of Empires 2, the definitive edition. Was that a game that you guys ever played when it first came out way back in the day?
Nope.
Yeah.
Not your thing there, Chris?
No, not at all. I never really got into those.
The Midnight Walk, Sonic Rumble, Revenge of the Savage Planet, Yes Your Grace, Snowfall, Doom. Obviously, we've already talked about that. Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, Monster Train 2, Linked, Banner of the Spark, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Tactical Takedown. I did see that. That's for the PC, so having the Game Pass ability, I may do that one. Elden Ring, Night Ring, that was a huge release, and I know it just released a couple days ago, so obviously the internet's blowing up about that one. Disney Illusion Island and Lost Soul Aside. That's everything that were big titles that came out last month. Now when it comes to this month, we do have Void Slayer, Void Scout, NWO, Mario Kart World, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Integrate, Sid Meier, Civilization 7, Hitman, World of Assassination, Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch 2, Rune Factory, Street Fighter 6, got a new Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild that's going to be kind of on the Switch 2.
Yeah, those two, like the two Legend of Zelda ones that you're talking about, those are being ported over to the Switch 2.
Yeah, so that one, Tears of the Kingdom, those are both going to be coming out. Split Fiction, Parallel Experiment, Dune Awakening. I still have yet to play a Dune game and still see the movies. Warhammer 40,000, Space Marine Master Crafted Edition, Stellar Blade, The Altars, Five Nights at Freddy, Secret of the Mimic Gex Trilogy, FBC Firebreak, Tron Catalyst. Oh, here we go. Kitty Builder. Can't miss that. That one's coming out June 17th on the PC. Here we go. Same day. Date Everything. Two huge games that I'm sure we're going to be doing coverage on, so expect that. Lost in Random, The Eternal Die, Shadowverse, The Worlds Beyond, War Torn, Rematch, Spray Paint Simulator. That is everything for this month that has been confirmed. I don't see anything on the list that I'm probably going to be downloading, obviously, besides Kitty Builder and Date Everything, because I can't wait to play those. Is there anything on the list that I just rattled off for the month that you guys are looking forward to?
I mean, maybe fucking Tron Catalyst, but
Dune sounds interesting. A Dune game.
Now, what about
it does
movie-wise for Dune? Have you guys watched the Dune movies? Have you played?
Oh, they were great.
Any of the games? Okay.
Yeah, watched both of them in theaters. You guys would. Well, Chris has seen them. I think they're fantastic.
I know Mike was really excited. He was wanting to see the new Dune movie. I know the movies are good. I've heard good things about them, but I don't know how the game rendition is going to be going after the movie itself.
So the game rendition is supposed to be more or less like a open world, separate from the movies itself. So I don't know if we'll interact with any of like characters that have been shown in the movies, but I know that they say like that Atreus is not going to be like part of it or anything, I believe, because it's more just like kind of like Fallout 76 type is what I've seen. It's just
That's
an open world with friends.
Yeah.
So then you're gonna be able to have, I guess, your own little community of people and everything brought into.
Yeah, it's like they said it's going to be like PvP and PvE as well.
What about Call of Duty? Chris, have you been playing that?
No, I haven't played since season 2.
I guess season 4, when that came out, it was not going well. And a lot of people are still pissed off about the new season because a lot of the lobbies, it will not have your player there. They will disappear. Levels are not being gained. There's no level icons.
Well,
I guess
supposedly now there's going to be like a new update where you can't see anyone's, like, where they're going to hide people's that aren't in your party's like levels is what I've heard, which I think is stupid.
Yeah, why is that? Why do
because when people see like that, there are like people that are like high prestige, like almost fucking master prestige and everything. People back out because they just know that they're either hack accounts or people that just haven't fucking touched grass in 6 months.
I was thinking it was more they wanted to play with higher levels and not.
I can see why they're doing it, but I also don't understand why there's that much involvement in policing with those kind of things. And it's the same with the company. I understand why they're doing the chats in a way and why they monitor it.
But the thing is they're monitoring the chats, but at the same time they're releasing shit that goes against what they're also banning at the same time.
Correct. Yes.
Like you have characters that they have that some of their audio includes swear words. You say fuck, you're banned. And now they're saying like, oh, you can't teabag people or you'll get banned. You can't fucking like do like the whole Diddy thing or you'll get banned. It's like, then what's the fucking point of this fucking game even being a thing anymore?
The Diddy thing, what's that?
It's so fucking stupid, like the shit that they're doing. Like you get supposedly too, like there were people that were showing that they were in like party chats and everything, not even talking in the game. Because like if you're in party chat on the Xbox especially, your audio is not heard in game chat. And people were getting voice banned as well in party chats. It's like in Call of Duty at the same time. It's like, what the fuck?
Who would be listening in? Like the employees or?
No, it's just like, I don't fucking know like what everything was like going on with that. But it's just like the whole fucking game has just gone downhill now. Like it's kind of like sad that it like was a great thing. Like then you could trash talk your friends or other people. And now it's like you say the wrong fucking thing to some fucking 5-year-old and he's like, I'm going to get you banned.
Yeah, Leo. So there's been obviously controversy around it, right? But they have been monitoring our Xbox chat parties for quite a number of many of years. And the same thing they'll do. So if we start an Xbox, and they probably even do it on Discord, I haven't looked into that. But they do listen to everything that we say, everything that we do. If we start talking about or plotting certain things, then that can be flagged. There are certain things also that is done like through, let's say we're in an Xbox party, but then we go onto the Call of Duty servers.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's some kind of stipulation put in by the game company that there's not going to be that third party, some kind of AI model, some kind of third party recognition software that when they hear the word fuck so many times within, we'll say, I don't know, a 5-minute span, then maybe that is going to cause a flag. You get so many flags, and that's when you're going to go ahead and get an instant, hey, you're fucking up, basically. Frustrating,
Wow.
and I know exactly what you're talking about, Chris. Party chats, game chats back in the days of Xbox and Xbox 360 were fucking brutal. Oh my God, were they ever brutal. So going from that unfiltered bit of jargon, I can see how people would be hesitant to let their kids or somebody go ahead and play in a game because it could be offensive. I get that. But what I also don't understand is if you don't want that to happen, then you don't have to have your microphone on. You can go ahead and mute everybody else. You can jump into a game party chat. When it comes to like our discussions on how we're discussing stuff right now, I don't believe there should be somebody that should tell us, no, you can't talk about that. It's kind of one of those constitutional rights that we have, but also at the same time, if we're using a party service like Xbox, Microsoft, or Call of Duty, Activision, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, whoever the fuck it is, they can encroach on those rights and kind of restrict on what it is that we can say do in our opinions when we use that platform. So it's very shitty. I don't agree with it, and there's really nothing I can do about it. There's nothing that any of us can do about it, right? Even with our cell phones. I mean, our cell phones, every bit of a device that has some kind of built-in camera, built-in audio, they technically don't need to have our signatures or something to say that, no, you're not allowed to listen in. Everything that we do with the keystroke, everything that we check on the internet, I'm sure it's all being written down, all being recorded somewhere, and I'm sure, like court of law, it can be used against you, right? So you probably shouldn't be a piece of shit and look at certain things, even if it is not on your work stuff. Just be a kind individual. But if I want to play a game with you guys, and yes, Chris, you and I have both gotten very vocal over the years at each other, especially when Mike was there doing the extra live streams with all the sports games. a lot of hatred can be exchanged in word format, right? And I don't want to get a notification to say that your account is going to be banned, or you are now banned from this game, or your account is banned altogether and you can no longer play on, my account on Xbox, Steve Scotland. I cannot play any more games because they kicked off that IP to my account. That would really fucking suck. And I can see that's where we're going to be getting at. We're already there, but they're just banning us per the game. They're not banning everybody on the console. I can see that happening, though. I don't want it to, but I can. Let's talk about a little bit of more sadness. Microsoft and Video Game Worker Union has now reached a tentative agreement on labor contracts. I did read the article. I'm not going to go through every bit of the article, but this was back in 2023. ZeniMax employee that created ZeniMax Workers United, CWA. There are now over 2,000 unionized employee by Microsoft since this has happened, and it spawned from the Overwatch 2 Team Blizzard being fully unionized, and it was great that it did happen to get the rights for everybody, to making sure that everybody is able to get the same breaks, being able to still have a job. A big thing, takeaway of this article, AI, they are worried about. They want to still have a job, still have a career, in this big boom of AI, they want to get something in place in writing, which I believe is very smart. Because if I was in the industry too, I want to make sure that I have some kind of job security. Let's say that we did not have our careers. We jumped into the video game industry. We worked for 10, 15 years in the industry. And now we possibly could be losing our job because, like what Leo, you allow me to do with your X software is called Gronk.
Yeah.
So now I can use your software called Gronk, do these image regenerations time and time again. I can really tweak it to how I want. And I never have to touch a piece of editing software that I am paying on my computer probably a couple $100 a year to have to do that. So it's nice. But there are also other people that do this kind of freelance stuff, people there at large companies and developers. They could be losing their job just because a computer is going to do this. And I did see Call of Duty Black Ops 6 when I was playing it quite a bit there during the release, and it did come out for the Christmas season last year. They had a screensaver. One of the zombies that was wearing a Santa hat, it has 6 fingers. So then I ask myself, is that just a weird mutation because it's a zombie, whatever, or was that image generated by AI? Are companies, spending that much time and effort at some point? And, I guess what point do they say, is it really value added to pay somebody 20 hours to generate this wallpaper that looks cool? Or can we just go ahead and pump whatever we want into a bunch of, what do they call those? Prompts, right? Into an AI software, and just boom, you got it. It's there. It's done. A lot of companies are doing this. It's more and more apparent. I'll be curious on what's going to happen to the gaming and also the movie industry as well. I think a lot of those individuals that would have that freelance thing on their resume, their reputation is going to have to withhold this test of time. And it's really hard now to have ownership of an image, have ownership of something. It's just very wild on how everything is. I'll be curious on how lawsuits are going to look. The creative side of things. Let's say we want to promote Leo, for you, for example, you want to do The Last of Us Part 2 because somebody's requesting it. Now I can take the image of The Last of Us Part 2, I could put that into an AI image generating software like Gronk, give it a few different props, change that background minorly. At that point, can we go ahead and call that EGS production material? Or is that still going to be owned by, we'll say, Naughty Dog? Where is that fine line? Look at the music industry. How many times can you have the same chords being played by different people on a guitar or a piano or just any instrument and redefine it, recreate it to call that your own? Same with lyrics too, beats, everything else. It's very hard to be creative and to have it to be unique and to really have it call your own without somebody going out there and stealing it from you or saying that you stole it from somebody else. You have anything on that, Chris?
No, I don't really follow too much into the AI stuff.
It's pretty crazy what it can do.
Oh, I definitely know that, but it's just, I don't know. I just don't really follow too much into it.
More sadness on the video game side. EA's Black Panther game has been officially canceled. Although that they do have 3 more Marvel games still in development, EA has officially canceled it. It's kind of a bummer. We did not get a Black Panther game. We did get a Black Panther movie, correct?
We got 2.
Those poor workers, all that effort.
All right, let's talk about worker wage and game title cost. And this has been, I guess, our own trigger here at EGS Productions and talking about it on the podcast for many a times. When it comes to the price of something, Borderlands 4 boss said that he didn't mean to, in his words, quotations, trigger so many people on the comments made about the price. So we're talking about base price is going to be $80.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about base price of an $80 game? We've talked and beat a dead horse into the form of a puddle from $60 to $70. Now we're talking $60 to $80.
I mean, as much as I hate to say it, we're all gonna bitch about it like every single fucking time a game comes out, and then at that same point, we're still gonna end up buying the fucking game. And it's like, but at that same time, it's like, you got shit like the digital games now. Why should we be paying $80 for a digital game when we're fully cutting out like a lot of like the middlemen by going to like Best Buy, GameStop, Walmart? Why are they even still like there? We can buy it on the Xbox, the PlayStation, the computer. We shouldn't need to be paying $80.
And to your point there, Chris, you bring up a great point. Let's also tie in what I was just talking about with AI. If that company is going to be developing and releasing this game, we'll say 50% of AI, should we be charged as a consumer to have a computer to go ahead and build our game for us? Don't get me wrong, there's still employees that need to get paid, so I understand that too. But for the employees that need to get paid, if that company is now cutting down 50% of their workforce to replace it with 50% of AI, do they need to upcharge their game another 5, 10, 15%? Go ahead and make up for what? I'm with Chris on it, even if it is $100. If it's a game that I really want to play, like the new Halo comes out, it's $110, but there's no subscription. All right, I'll probably fucking pay it. Look at a game like Grand Theft Auto 5. I've rebought that game 3 times now. Over 2 different generation of consoles. 3 if you want to go ahead and count the Xbox One versus the XS series.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to think about it, yes, because it went the 360, the One, and then the X. So, it is kind of 3 different consoles. Try buying it 4 times when you have to buy it on the PC as well.
And maybe if they want to come on out, and I highly doubt they'll release it onto the next generation of consoles, but I mean, shit, they just might. I know that Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out, and we've beat that dead horse as well. Don't have any more information
Mike used to beat that dead horse all the time.
Mike was very excited for a lot of things, and I'm really bummed that he's not around, because Grand Theft Auto is one of them. The new president that we got in was one of them. Certain thing with politics that we don't tend to discuss on the podcast. For his politic opinion, he would be extremely happy with how things are going. Yeah, so most definitely he still is in my heart, and there's a lot of things that happens that I still do, that goes on, that still makes me think of him.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess we could talk about this, since we're talking about Mike and talking about politics. Trump's tariffs blocked, then reinstated by courts with maybe some refunds. And this is going to be primarily focusing on the Switch 2 and what it's going to mean for us gamers. Are we going to have another 50% tax on that? And hey, let's say that if we do, now the possibility of that price of $300 maybe is going to be going on up. Now, is certain pricing going to be delayed, or possibly production of these systems be delayed because of the tariff? I could see that happening, but I can't imagine them doing that. I still think they're going to have to push these things out no matter what. And it could be $500 next month or this month to get it. And then 3 months from now, it could drop down to $399. Or they still could keep it up and keep that profit, like they need to keep more profit, but still. We have a lot of stuff that happens overseas from the gaming industry aspect.
It's not even just the gaming industry, it's life in general. Like
everyday goods, everyday stuff that we all use. Yes, for sure. James Bond. I don't know why I've been seeing so many things coming out on my newsfeed about James Bond. And then I did hear about Project 007. I guess this project was announced back in November of 2020, and it never really took off as far as gaining traction until a former Ubisoft veteran joined the project last year. and he became the director of it. There has been a trailer since released, but the trailer isn't going to be telling us much. So far, the only platform that we know that has been confirmed on is the Nintendo Switch 2. It's also assumed that it's going to be coming out on the PlayStation and the Xbox consoles, but still there has been no confirmation for it. As far as the story setting, it's going to probably be like any other James Bond game. You're going to play as James Bond. You're going to have bad people to take out. I don't know if they're going to have you sleep with a couple different women throughout the game itself, like how it depicts in most James Bond movies. They're going to be hiring a multiplayer programmer. So we're going to be seeing some multiplayer, which is cool. I'm curious if they're going to want to take it into the aspect of you playing other people, like how most James Bond games are. And that's about all we know. They have touched on this article about the new James Bond movie, which would be the 26th James Bond movie, is currently in the works.
Wow.
Except there's still no talks about who's going to play the role.
Correct. There's no talks on who's going to be playing the role. Sir Daniel Craig, I believe him being James Bond for the past 20 years, is finally able to step away and pass the torch.
I don't think Daniel Craig's been knighted.
Well, I'm just calling him Sir because I still had respect for the person that he can go ahead and turn around and kick my ass. But Harry Potter's David Heyman and Spider-Man's Amy Pascal has signed as the producers. Through Amazon MGM Studios, they are going to produce the film. Yet, setting, where it's going to be, all those fine details, we don't have anything on it yet. Things not to expect anytime soon. Battlefront 3. Just kind of a bummer. Right. But let's talk about Battlefront 2, okay? Battlefront 2, when it came out, for me, a great fucking game. A fantastic game. It did not hit anywhere close to the original Battlefront 2, but it was still a good game. And then there was a tipping point. It wasn't right away. But at some point, I put the game down and I picked the game back up and I got back into lobbies and starting to grind on it. You get a little bit of rust on your gears. You suck a little bit. At least I do when I go from one game to the next game, especially having a layoff. But I was doing fucking horrible at that game. Couldn't figure it out. And then finding out the actual player to hacker ratio in that game is way far off. Way far off. I don't know if you guys have experienced that in the game lobbies. Maybe it's a good thing that they're not coming out with.
No, the reason they're not coming out with another one, and EA is definitely not going to say it, but one of the big controversies of Battlefront 2 when it first came out was the whole microtransactions. In order to get like all these different things, you needed to buy like the boxes and everything. And finally, like the game, like, I think it was the FCC said it's considered gambling. Yes, and that's why they don't do those those boxes. Like they do still do the boxes, but you can't buy those like little boxes. And that's why EA is not gonna make another Battlefield 3, is because they're not gonna make, or Battlefront 3, because they're not gonna make any money from it without the microtransactions.
Would you consider it play to win, like they were saying?
Mm-hmm. And it's considered gambling too, because you're spending money on it, thinking that you could get these certain items, and you're not going to get them. It's a luck of the draw. EA has killed the gaming industry. Yes.
I want to say, okay, I want to say for me, so EA, the hatred for me goes back probably the year 2001, maybe 2002. I can't remember. Early 2000s. I started to really hate EA. They took a great game offline that, in my opinion, I thought was doing well. I loved it. Never seen another game like it, because they wanted to come out with The Sims. Sims is going to be the cash cow. We're going to be able to make a lot more money. The Sims Online is the next big thing. Well, it kind of filled its diaper rather quickly, and then eventually went offline just as fast as it went online. Mm-hmm. So that's where my hatred for EA has started. And I think the continuation for EA has always gone back to, within the past 5 to 10 years, are those microtransactions. You're pay blocking or paywalling, whatever you want to call it. You're stopping your players from fully enjoying your product that you pushed out because you want more money from them. And on top of that, wanting to add more content for, hey, check out this new season pass. It's going to cost you 10, or we'll say 5 to 15 of your real dollars every single time this season comes out. But wait, there's more. You can go ahead and get this cool, as you're saying, Chris, you can get this cool loot box. You can get 10 of them for the price of $3.99, and you could get these items. Or you're going to get a bunch of fucking Weedles, from the Pokemon deck. You're just going to get a bunch of bullshit that people are just going to rip up and throw away. I pay real money for this bullshit. It's a luck of the draw. I'm not a lucky person. I'm not. I walk into the casino with $20. If I hit it over 60, that's the most I've ever gotten a profit. I'm fine with walking away. If I lose at 20, and most times that I do lose that 20 rather quickly, boom, I'm done. I know my limit. I am not a good gambler. I played the lottery, still broke. So that means I haven't won, right? I know my limits. And if I am going to pay $40 for, or not $40, sorry, if I'm going to pay $80 for BioShock 4, I am not going to want to go ahead and know that somebody is going to be in a multiplayer lobby with me that is going to excel better than me just because they can pay to play and just level up that much faster. I think it is bullshit. And even the cosmetics, it's cool, some of the cosmetics, but it's not cool having to pay $10, $20, $30 just to look a certain way. That kind of stuff, it is not going to grab me. Did it though during Fortnite for the pass and their currency system? Yes. So I could be a major hypocrite when it comes to certain things. The new Halo game come out, and I could see a suit of armor on there for $100 and be like, oh my God, I have to have this or I'm not ever going to be able to sleep right. I can't imagine that happening, but...
So hear me out. Back in 2004, 2005, there was two similar games that came out. One of them was by EA. Another one was by 2K. And those games were football. You had Madden, and you had 2K, ESPN's ESPN 2K, yeah, I think they called it whatever. You get what I'm saying? The 2K one did more popular than Madden because of all the stuff that they added in, like that 2K added. They added, you could actually do fucking first person view in this 2K game.
That's cool.
You had, like, because it was sponsored with ESPN, you had the ESPN like analyst doing like the halftime show. Like Chris Berman did a full halftime show with 2K for this game. Became more popular than Madden. Became more popular than EA's Madden.
Wow.
EA went out and went to the NFL and said, we will give you we want the rights to the games. In 1 year, those rights end. EA is definitely not going to get it back because they've literally have just copied and pasted and done the same exact thing. They have the HUT team, which is or the MUT team, which everybody calls Madden Ultimate Team. That's all been their microtransactions bullshit. That's all it's ever been with EA is they want microtransactions. They want the money. They don't give a fuck about what the fans want. I want a fucking hockey game that's literally just like how NBA 2K is, where you have like the whole My Player thing. That's what I want. That's why FIFA doesn't have the agreement anymore with EA, because they were just presently copy and pasting every single year.
Yeah.
What company would be taking it over then? I mean, that's going to be one hell of a bidding war, right? A huge bidding war.
I would love for 2K to take it back again. Like, to not just like get it back, but to have I don't think there will be any like fight over who gets what. I think EA is still going to do their Madden, but they're going to lose like the full-on rights, like where they can be the only NFL sponsored game. That's what I'm saying, is they're going to lose that right to be the only NFL game.
Yep.
Because you think about it, we have had a couple different like geriatric like fucking football games that came out, but then not like you don't have like Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, Jared Goff. You don't have any of them in there. It's just generic players.
How long would it be for a 10-year contract? Billions of dollars, I would have to think, just to get those rights to use those players and their names alone. That'd have to be a lot of money to pull from the league.
When was the last 2K NFL game?
2014 or 2004 when everything happened. So EA got the rights on December 13th of 2004.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And then they extended the rights in 2008 to go through the 2012 season. And then I think they extended the rights again later on.
Wouldn't this be a monopoly, technically, since they're the only...
I think that would make them a monopoly if they're the only ones that's going to be allowed to release licensed content like that. But they're not in a monopoly of the sense of, like Chris was saying, all three of us, we can come up and develop our own football game. We just won't be able to have those Tom Brady's, the Aaron Rodgers. We won't be able to have the big names. We can have everybody maybe look very similar to them and have the same kind of stats. We just can't call them that. It'll have to be John Doe 1 and 2. But if we were able to successfully make a better game than them, I think the only thing that would be stopping us is going up to the NFL saying, hey, we don't have the $5 billion that you would want for the next 6 years your contract, but we're able to produce better game and meet better stats or whatever. But we would have to be fighting up against a company like EA, right? That's got major litigation, that has a lot of skin in the game. There's got to be another big company like 2K that would have to come back through and I don't want to say redirect themselves. I think they can pick it up and they can run with it. No pun intended. I think they'll be doing a very great job on those games. Probably much better than EA. I think certain game companies are good. I think 2K did a really good job with the sports games, just like how I thought that Bungie did a really good job with Halo.
Sure.
Halo was picked up by 343 and it was taken into a different direction. Maybe it's time for the Halo franchise to go to somebody else. I can't imagine it going to anybody else right now at this point, but I wouldn't be mad if it did because I don't like the current direction. I think it's very copy and paste, like how Chris was saying. And they're adding in very minor tweaks and changes to make it something unique. Yes, bad comparison because Halo doesn't come out every single fucking year. But it's also got to be hard to have a game come out every single year and to add in something new every single fucking year to keep it interesting, right?
Right.
That's gonna be a fun challenge.
I'm looking at like the exclusive rights that EA has right now for any like sports games. The only rights that they really have are football, hockey.
When you say football, you mean American football or like FIFA?
American football.
Okay.
And then they have the association football, which is basically soccer. So they have like the FC, mixed martial arts, Formula One racing, golf, and college football. Wow. They have baseball, but the only baseball game that they have is the Super Mega Baseball. They don't have any it's the exclusive rights that kind of goes. That's kind of more open to everybody because you got like MLB The Show. You still have a couple companies that are making like the baseball games for like mobile and everything. So, and they're not under like the EA. But
the show is amazing. They do a great job.
Oh, the show is a great game. That's how I would love that's how a sports game should be. It should be something like that. It shouldn't, especially when they give you the option to make your own characters and stuff like that.
All right, so let's go ahead and what I found is the current deal that EA has is going to run through, like you were saying, Chris, this year. There's a possible extension that are being talked in the works right now. But currently that deal that they signed costed $1.5 billion.
Yeah, and that's probably, like, you got to think about it, how much it costed originally and how much it costs. Like, it kept costing to renew.
it has been reported that EA does bring in a income through the Madden title alone annually, $600 million.
Wow.
And getting into the college sports side of things, EA has agreed that they're going to pay each player $600 that opts to have their name into the football game. And that's going to be going across 11,000 eligible players, potentially around $7 million in just payer payments alone. So yes, it does cost money, right? That they have to pay off these players also. But I mean, do the players even see that money? And how much of it do they see? Just because the NFL would kind of own the player, kind of like if you are going into the wrestling business, as we'll say John Cena, right? Well, they're going to be owning that name, John Cena, and you can't be using it anywhere else unless you were to get those rights. So yeah, this is going to have to be a huge discussion later on this year into another podcast. And we're going to keep up with the story because it's still developing on what's going to be happening with that franchise. All right, so that spawned on a huge tangent, right? I think we last left off on Battlefield 3. DICE did say,
"Oh, that's where we started was because of Battlefront."
Yes, yeah. So Battlefront 3 is not going to be in the talks anytime soon here. Battlefield 6 has been confirmed by DICE that they are working on something, but there's no news on that yet. Fallout 76, Chris, when was the last time that you played that? Okay, so if it's been a while, we do have a Gone Fishing update.
At least last year or maybe the year before.
Yeah, I think you played it when you came out here, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I did play it last year.
So they have a new update that's going to be coming out, releasing June 3rd, the Gone Fishing update. I don't know how much that's going to add into replay value for you.
Probably not much.
Yeah. For the Fallout 76 universe, for me, there's not a pull for me to go back to it. I think I'm kind of done with Fallout 76. I would hate to say that, but quite honestly, I'm more or less looking forward to the Fallout Season 2. They're on Amazon. We're supposed to be getting later on this year, right? And we've already had confirmation talks of more. Yes, sir. We got confirmation talks of more seasons as well already. So that's great. What are we going to be doing on a video game side? Are we just going to be seeing more and more updates, Fallout 76, or are we going to be seeing
they're
something
definitely
else?
probably working on something else.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, you gotta think about
agree.
it. Bethesda does not talk about like the next game that they're coming out with until they're about like 3/4 of the way done. If you think about it, because like we first heard about Starfield in when did they first announce it? 2018, and we didn't get it until 2023. So they don't announce it until it's like either close to being done or they're like midway through like the project with everything that they want to at least be able to show.
It's a smart way of doing it. It honestly is. But you're also playing a gamble, right? That everything is going well with development. Because if that development is going to take 7 years to get a good game out there, you're going to have a large fan base. I don't want to say that's going to fall out. No pun intended, also.
So in June 2022, Todd Howard stated in an interview that Fallout 5 would begin development after the completion of Elder Scrolls 6, which is an unspecified release window.
Damn. So yeah, I'm sure they're working on something, right? Mm-hmm. They're not full tilt on the project, but I'm sure that they're talking there at the studios, especially people are watching that Fallout TV show. They want to see another game. They want to see those updates. They want to see something happen. Let's get into The Last of Us. Did you guys watch season 2, mid-season, season finale?
I'm a little bit behind.
What about you, Leo?
Yeah, we watched. Not very good.
Okay, well, I'm not going to want to spoil anything for Chris. Yes,
I'm not behind because of like bad reasons. I'm just behind because I just haven't had the time to watch it, if that makes any to literally sit down and full out watch it, if that makes any sense.
It does, because I am on, I think, episode 3 now with the first season of Halo. So I'm getting there. I'm making my way. Maybe by this time next year, I'll have another 2 episodes watched so I can get my intake on that. But when it comes to The Last of Us, the only thing I will say is that I'm curious on what Naughty Dog is going to want to do now. We are getting into portions of the game that I believe has been sped up in the TV side of things. Are we going to be having a third game probably already in development right now? Are we going to have those talks towards the end of the full-on season 2 of The Last of Us TV show? What is going to happen? Mm-hmm. Are they going to release the show first and then the game? They're going to do it simultaneously? It's a couple-year project, I do believe, but also I don't think they have those couple years. We're going to have to, I hope, hear something by the end of this year on what strategic direction, unless they're going to drag out Last of Us Season 2 for another, I don't know, couple months. Maybe see the end of that, end of this year, maybe next year. And then how much longer are we going to have to wait for a Season 3 or Last of Us Part 3? Until you get a chance to watch it, Chris, that's about all I'm going to say on it. I will hold my opinions to myself.
I did see they're doing 3 seasons, right, Steve? Like you said, they're going to do 3 seasons. And I saw the rumor might be that there'll be a game. Because, I'm sorry, they're going to do 4 seasons. I'm sorry, they're going to go to 4 seasons, and they're thinking by the time the 4th season comes out, there'll be a new game to go along with it.
Yeah, I'll believe that when I see that.
Yeah, I would like to hope that's going to come out, and I hope that's also not a 10-year project.
Well, yeah, it will be. I forgot who they had in the studio from the past games. They were doing some work already, so I don't know. I could see it, because if you think about it, by the time they come out with that final season, it will be a lot of years into the future. You probably have new systems out by then too.
Yeah, I would have liked to have already thought by now that we would have some more solid, concrete evidence, information that they're working on another game. I think when they first started on the TV series, they were probably already starting development on a third game. I would like to think that they're wise with their strategic planning of, hey, we got a TV show coming out now about us. We should probably produce some more content, because that TV show is not going to have anything to go on.
I mean, they definitely need to give us another game. It's been like they've given us 3 or 4 remasters. It's like, just give us the fucking game. It's like that fucking meme that was on TikTok for a while ago. It was like somebody's ordered a deep dish pizza from Chicago, and some guy's sitting there where's the cheese? And then there's somebody going, it's under the sauce, and it just kept going back. It's like, where's Last of Us 4? Here's a remake. Where's Last of Us 3? Here's a remake. And that's literally what it seems like.
Well, they did ask Neil Druckmann what he sees, and he says he wants a beginning, a middle, and an end, like Uncharted, right? And if you think about it, we're at the middle with Part 2. So
I think I also kind of read somewhere too that he was also talking about Season 3 being the ending for the game as well. That's what I kind of heard at the same time.
But now they're saying there's going to be a 4th season, because they can't do it all in 3 seasons. So they're going to be 4 seasons total.
Well, you know what? They should figure out a way and just do it.
Yeah.
I think there should be a point in our podcast, maybe we can get on the next one, where we can start to get some thoughts flowing. Let's talk about all of the recent remade games, and do we really need to have them? We got Final Fantasy, right? Pokemon, Resident Evil, Last of Us can be one of them. Grand Theft Auto can be one of them. Skyrim. There's a couple other titles that are out there. Assassin's Creed.
2 games that I want full remakes for. 2 games. Just with graphics and everything. And that is Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2. It was talked about, and then it got canceled. I fucking want it.
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know why they do that.
It's like they don't have enough creative ideas of their own to keep a game or a franchise going. And that's fine. End it on a good note. come up with something new. But if they come up with something new, if that something new fails, fuck, you could have an entire company go down on a failed game. And then what do? Ah, shit, I guess it's time to remaster and just redo everything that worked well for us. We'll get some more money out of our consumers and we'll try a new game in a couple of years. And if that doesn't work out, fuck, I guess we'll remake the games that we remade 10 years ago. Or not even that,
Right.
5 years ago, 3 years ago. Fuck me. Call of Duty remakes. That's one that bothers me, right? We do not need to have another Call of Duty fucking remake. My God, we just had Modern Warfare, 1, 2, and 3 remade, right? Or was it just 1 and 2? But it doesn't fucking matter. Those games are still relevant. You can still jump on the line and play the servers, and you can play those games as it is. Stop doing fucking remakes. For the love of God. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 4. Just give us a fourth one. Don't fucking remake everything. Have us wait another 7 fucking years before you give us a game that we're just going to be blocked by microtransactions.
For real.
And it sucks about the Call of Duty franchise. Over the years, their storylines have just been fucking dog shit. Garbage. And so much so, I think it's just relevant to them and the company to where they know, hey, we are releasing shit. So let's just get away from a storyline. Or let's give them a storyline that's going to have them do 8 hours. And they can complete the game, or we're going to throw everything in for multiplayer. We're going to give them zombies. That's what the community wants. Get the fuck out of here with that. My God.
Fuck you. I like zombies.
I am so tired of that zombie playlist. And every fucking Call of Duty game. I'm glad that the zombie phase is over because it seemed like every game there for about 5 years had to have some kind of a zombie bullshit into it. So I'm glad we're done with that.
No, all right, I like Call of Duty Zombies. It's
stop.
fun. It's even great like when you actually have a full fucking lobby and it's all your friends and you guys just do stupid shit. But I don't like fucking Warzone. I don't like the fucking Battle Royale things. I think they need to just go the fuck away. But they're not. And it's like, it's even the same with Zombies, Steve. I'm sorry, but Zombies is going to keep going. It's not going away anytime soon. I'm sorry.
You don't need to be sorry. It's fine. I'll just continue not to play it. I just get involved with very toxic lobbies when I play it, and I'm not an avid zombie player. And maybe that's it too. And I know there is strategy when getting through the levels, and everybody should have their certain job, and it could be just me not sitting down and really having a good team to play and grind on it. Zombies is just not my thing. I can get on Minecraft and dump, well, I mean, shit, Stalker 2. I'm dump over a fucking day into that game. Hey, that's fine with me. Zombies? No, I'm good.
See, with me, though, it's like one of the big things that I think needs to just be done with in general when it comes to gaming and the gaming industry is season passes.
I'd be okay with that. I would be okay with that, but without the season passes, what do we have for replay value? I don't think we can go back to Halo, for example. I don't think we can go back to the days of you're done with one game, you see your XP that you progressed, you load up the next game. We didn't have armor load sets. We didn't have loadouts, things to unlock. I don't know if there's going to be a community.
No, in Call of Duty, we did have that. Like in Black Ops and Modern Warfare, we had like loadouts and everything. It's just we didn't have to fucking grind through everything to get these fucking just a fucking what is it? A fucking camo and everything. We didn't have to grind. We didn't have to spend money to get points to we didn't spend money to buy a season pass. We spent money like $1.99 or $4.99 on a DLC that went for 3 months, and then they released a new DLC. And like that's how it was with fucking back in the day. And now it's just everything's just a money grab.
What I like is how Halo Infinite has their seasons set up. I just don't like how you have to pay for them. Now, if they had it set up to where you're going to come out with seasons every single month, but me as a consumer, I don't want to play Halo every single month. Maybe I want to play different games because, God damn it, there's more to life than just Halo. Then I can go back to Halo in a year time frame, and I can see all the seasons that were released. And if I want to play that season up to season 4, to get that unlock, then I can equip that season, play it, and then I can continue on with another season or just something else. So they currently offer that, but you do have to pay for the season. If they did not have to charge you to pay, I think that'd be fucking great. But then also, if you do that, are you gonna charge your consumers a subscription-based model because they don't have to go ahead and buy all those seasons? And then there you are. Now, a $70 base game, you're being charged $10 a month. That game is costing you a lot of money just to go ahead and get everything that is offered.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, we never had any of this, like, as much back in the day.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Well, shit, come on, Chris. Back in the day, you and I went and stood in a line with a bunch of other sweaty people on a summer night for 3 hours, starting at fucking 9 o'clock. I mean, if you were like me, I remember doing... So EGS, we did a lot of game releases over the years. One of our big ones was Halo Reach. And for Halo Reach, I did a custom suit of armor. So I was in armor for 16 fucking hours. I didn't take a piss break. I ate food that got, stuck in my armor and just smelled like shit after all day. We were barbecuing. We were having pizzas ordered. It was a huge event. We no longer have these events anymore. It is... We can pre-download it, we can pre-install it, and then when the game comes out at 12:01, sweet, we got another 80 gigabyte update. So now we're not going to be able to play the game for another fucking, couple hours, if we're lucky, maybe the next day. And then now, god damn it, if it's a multiplayer game where you want to get in and join with your friends, unless those game servers and that company has everything in line, good fucking luck for maybe the first week of the first month being able to try to play it. Shit's so broken when it comes out now. It's not plug and play. There's a lot of troubleshooting and a lot of updates and patches and shit that has to get done. So are these companies
day one patch?
Not even day one patch. They're not even releasing a working game to us as a consumer. And fuck me, if we're having to pay $80 to pay to play for a game that's broken for the first month or two, I don't know if that retention period is going to be there for a lot of players to buy that brand new game. Well, fuck, I can't even play it. I just wasted my money. And by the time I'm able to play it, who the fuck knows? There's another game that's going to come out that nobody's going to want to play this game with me anymore. So it's just a fucking waste. And thank God we got something like the Game Pass. No longer am I going to have to, like Gamefly. I'm still an avid 4-game-a-month holder of Gamefly. And having something like this, don't really need to have it. Not all games are able to be released on the Game Pass, so it is still nice to have the service like Gamefly. There's a lot of variety out there, right? We don't have to play Call of Duty. We don't have to play Halo. We can play whatever the fuck we want to play whenever we want to play it. It is nice having those games all pre-installed, all updated, and ready to go there on the Xbox or the PC or the PlayStation, whatever it is that people out there are playing on. I like that ability. I'm going off on a fucking tangent with this. My apologies.
No, the day one patches, I do agree with you. I mean, they ship stuff broken and they fix it afterwards. Just get it out the door.
Chris, you did have a couple things here.
So I guess so it's a revival show, and it's kind of still continuing the whole series itself. It's not like a fucking remake or anything. And I guess now it takes place like a couple of years later. As you can see, Bobby is older than what he used to be. And I guess like Hank and Peggy are retired. But one of the big things that I read was, I think it was 2 years ago, the original voice actor for Dale Gribble, which is kind of, I guess you could say in a sense, Mike in TV form. The voice actor died a couple years ago, and I guess recently they announced that Toby Huss, who was also the voice of Cotton, the father of Hank Hill, he's going to be taking over for Dale Gribble. So, and I guess it's saying that Bobby Hill is now 21 years old.
Wow.
Of legal drinking age, depending on what state.
Yep.
When is that going to be coming out?
August 4th, I believe, is the release date.
Okay, so this year then.
Yeah, and it's funny, if you look in the if you actually watch, they released like the intro and everything, like the theme song's still the same, but you know how I don't know if did you watch the show, like the original?
I did. I never really got into it, but yeah, of course you watched it. It was always on like after Judge Judy or some bullshit on Fox 2 News.
Yeah, so if you remember, like when they did like the intro, it's just them all standing around. They crack open the beer and it gets into the song and everything. It's still the same, but during the intro, you can see all the changes that have been done. Like Peggy and all them, like the Peggy and Hank and Bobby, they leave for a little bit. They don't know if they sold the house or if they just rented the house out while they were gone and kept the house. But some other guy moved in. There's rumors that it's like a previous character. Then they kind of cut through and they show like during the COVID time. And it's funny because they show there was Hank, Dale, Boomhauer, and the other one, I forget his name.
Bill.
Yes, Bill. They show Bill as basically being patient zero for like the COVID on the block. He coughs and walks away, and then COVID happens. But like, if you pay attention, you see a lot of different things in that clip to signify like what has happened between when season 13 happened, like the end of season 13, and to the beginning of season 14.
And that is wild to think that they've had 13 seasons. I did not think that show was on for that long.
Yeah. Wow. Same
that
here.
show ran for a long time. And if it gets picked back up and everybody likes it again, shit.
I think it will. I mean, King of the Hill is like a loved show. Like everybody loved that show. And the fact that it went like 13 seasons, like you're saying, like that's a lot. Like you look at shows like Family Guy and The Simpsons, like they don't tackle a lot of like they make fun of a lot of real life stuff and situations. But King of the Hill was that series that kind of like made it serious as well, like real life situations. And I think that's what caused like the show to go on for as long as it did before it was canceled. And I'm glad that they're bringing it back. Like it's one of my favorite shows. I do rewatch it periodically, and I guess between now and August 4th, I will probably be doing another rewatch of it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it kind of sad that they're bringing back old stuff, or is it nice that they're bringing back old stuff? Is it sad because they don't have any other content to go off of?
No, I think it's nice because, like, you know, it's stuff that people want. And I think, like, that a lot of these companies are now starting to, like, listen to people with shows and stuff like that they want and are bringing it back. And because if you think about it, I mean, a couple of years ago, they brought back Futurama, and that's been a hit. And I think that's why they looked into bringing back, like, another show that was canceled, which was King of the Hill.
Like it, Beavis and Butthead as well. They brought that back in 22 on Paramount, and they're going to be releasing on Comedy Central this year.
And I think what it is I think like a lot of people are just tired of the shows like The Simpsons and Family Guy. It's like, all right, like we've had those two shows now being the only really ones. Like we've had American Dad, which I think is still slightly going, but I haven't seen that in forever. Yeah, like the Cleveland Brown show. It's like we wanted something different. And what's better than different? Something that we used to love coming back.
It's amazing that you bring up stuff like The Simpsons, American Dad, even stuff like Futurama that is getting brought back. The Simpsons came out December 17th, 1989.
No. So the full series came out December 17th, like the full 30-minute shows. They were like a sketch short comedy on the Tracy Ullman show, and they started on April 19th, 1987.
Late 80s, and they're still going strong. Heading into season 40, and they just did another renewal that will keep it going. Yeah. So season 40 is going to end at the year 2029 until, or if they do another season renewal. Family Guy premiered January 31st, 1999. American Dad came out right after the Super Bowl. Yep. First canceled in 2002, came back in 2005 after strong DVD sales and Adult Swim reruns. American Dad appeared Super Bowl February 6th, 2005. And that's shit, man.
The Cleveland show, which followed Cleveland Brown, premiered in September 27th, 2009, and went until May 19th, 2013. And it's like you look at it like 3 of the shows that we just mentioned are from one person. And it's like, I think that's why like a lot of people are kind of just bored of that. And I think that's why it was looked into bringing back older shows. And I think that's like what causes it to be different, you know?
What's something you guys would like to see being brought back that hasn't been?
I'm going to say it because I was pissed that it ended on a cliffhanger after season 1. And I'm still mad at Fox for canceling it. And it was a great series. And I've seen a lot of people still talking about it, even in 2025. And that's fucking Terra Nova.
Oh, okay. I've never seen it.
Yeah. So basically, it's like a futuristic show. Earth is dying. They develop a time machine to go back in time to try to like fix everything. It's got Jason O'Mara, Stephen Lane is in it.
Yeah.
And it was a great show. It was a great premise, but they canceled it after a season, and a lot of people were like pissed about it because like that's just how Fox was during like the time of Terra. Like when Terra Nova came out, they were keeping a lot of shows but canceling like actually good ones.
Yeah, like I'm surprised you didn't say Firefly.
With the shit that I've been hearing about Joss Whedon and how much of an ass he is to cast and crew, I do not want to put Nathan Fillion through the heartache of working with Joss Whedon again.
I'd much rather see Nathan Fillion in more stuff, though. You know, even on the video game side, I loved him and hated him as Buck in the Halo franchise. But he also made an appearance there in Destiny as well.
Yep, as Clyde 6. He's got another TV show out right now, if you watch that.
It's hard to watch TV.
It's called The Rookie. It's a cop show, but it's actually like hilarious.
To answer your question, Leo, I'm going to go ahead and stamp out on Chris. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it. I did hear Megan here in the podcast, and that's why I'm going to bring it up if she's still listening. The show is called Cold Monkeys. Back in 2007, 2008. It ran on G4. It was only 26.
I love Monkeys.
I know. Yeah. So they had a company called Game of Vision, and it's a very 80s style. It's all done in 8-bit. Takes place in Silicon Valley. And yeah, I would love to see that thing get brought back up. I think it'd be fucking great.
It's about video game developers or programmers or...
Oh, yes. Yep. And I can even send you here after the podcast when we get done. The humor level is at our level. And it is something that would probably not be very well represented onto TV nowadays. But I think there is that culture, just like how we've talked about Beavis and Butthead. We talked about King of the Hill, the shows that where people would probably think, oh, that's not appropriate for TV. This is probably classified as that as well. But I believe that abrupted very early and it had a while to go. What about you, Leo?
For me, I was going to say Firefly because I really love that show. We did get the movie, which helps. And the other one I would say, I know it's an old one, and I actually still have it. I own it. I still have to finish watching it. Is Twin Peaks, because from what I read, it wasn't completely done when they canceled it or they stopped it after the second season. So, yeah, that'd be mine.
Going back with, I just want to say this real quick. The Simpsons, 790 episodes and counting. While we think that that's a lot, it is for the United States. That is the most. But there is a cartoon in Germany that started to run episodes in 1959. I'm gonna fucking butcher the name of it, but it's Sandmachchen. Again, probably fucking butchered it. German based. That has over 22,000 episodes.
Holy moly!
In
Wait,
China,
what show?
The spelling is Sandmannchen. So that came out in Germany, started in 1959. The next big one is from China. It's called Pleasant Goat and Big Big Wolf. That has over 3,000 episodes.
The Pleasant Goat.
So While The Simpsons is still holding it strong for us, Germany is still beaten out when it comes to long-running cartoons.
Yeah, no kidding. Which one was the longest? How many episodes was that?
22,000 episodes. And that's over 61 seasons that they did that for.
Wow.
It's fucking wild. All right, let's talk about somebody that's not going to be, or maybe they are. I don't know. We've had some Mark Hamill news. You want to touch on that, Chris?
So I guess he's like ruling out that he'll return as like Luke Skywalker, and one of the big things that he has said is it's time to like move on from like the past characters and go ahead with like future characters. And I think he's right. I mean, I know people don't like. There's people that don't like the newer franchise, but I can agree with Mark Hamill about saying like we need to move on with like newer characters. I mean, we can't just keep doing like the whole Skywalker series, tagging around Luke and everything. It's like it's getting overplayed. I mean, when they I mean, I didn't mind them showing him like in the Mandalorian at the end of season 2, but to make him kind of be more of like a focal point in like certain episodes, it just kind of ruined it.
The guy first appeared in Star Wars back in the 70s. That character's been going on
for almost 50
in the
years.
universe. Yeah, for a long time. Let him fucking die. Put it to rest. Move on. You can bring him up. That's fine. But my fucking God. And that goes back with the creative side. Do we need to keep on going back to these old timers, these old fucks, to say, hey, we need to have you come on and hear this episode or this movie or this series at least twice in the next 5 years, just so we have a fighting chance on making ratings and bringing people back to this fucking show, to this movie?
Jeez, Steve, tell me how you really feel. Holy
it's damn frustrating. Jesus Christ. Yeah, let's ask Harrison Ford on what he thinks about Star Wars. Probably tell you to fuck right off. He's done with it. Yeah.
No, so like what he's been doing in like interviews when it came time for like the whole Star Wars thing, it was more of a joke. He does love like he has stated in the past he loves like the franchise. It kind of gave him his big jump and everything. It's just he wanted like he felt, and this is why I think it caused like a lot of controversy, is he wanted Solo to die either in Return of the Jedi or the end of Empire Strikes Back. That's why he's put into Carbonite, is because he only signed on for a 2 movie agreement at the beginning.
Okay.
And he felt that his story with Luke and Leia and all that ended in Empire Strikes Back. And that's why he wanted Han killed. He does enjoy the franchise. Like, he enjoys a lot of it about it. He enjoys like fans like and everything. He does talk about it a lot. But what he does on like Kimmel and Conan and Fallon, like when they ask him about it, it's all jokes and bits because he enjoys like getting people riled up about it too. And that's like it's a long running gag that he has. I mean, look at Paul Rudd and Conan O'Brien. Every time Paul Rudd goes on Conan's show, he talks about how he has a clip from his upcoming movie, and it's a fucking clip from a fucking old movie called Mac and Me. And it's been the same running gag for years, for like 2 decades now, maybe even longer.
Are we saying, and within the agreements, if Mark Hamill was not to appear in any more Star Wars stuff, would we be happy with that?
Yes.
No, he's actually, you said, Steve, he actually said he's done, right? Like, no matter what, he would never do it again?
I mean, he's ruled it out. He hasn't like really said like that he wouldn't do it again. I mean, if like there was like, if they asked him to do like a small thing, like a video game or something, he probably would do it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Or,
I'm sure if they were
a TV show.
If they were to knock on doors, say, "Hey, Mark, here's $500 million. Can we get a quick cameo? Maybe 2 more video games audio."
I don't think it would be like $500 million for that. But like,
yeah,
I mean, like,
I'm just saying.
I mean, a lot of people will say that they're done with like the role and stuff like that, but they do leave it still open. Like, that's why he said he ruled out like not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And like they will leave it open for small things like that might revolve like needing the character for something small, like a flashback type thing. Like, you look at how they did like Freddie Prinze Jr., all right? He played Kanan Jarrus in Star Wars Rebels. There was talks about his character possibly appearing in like the Ahsoka series. And he even said, like, he said, no, I'm done with the role. Like, excuse me, my character died. I'm done with it. But he did have a quick speaking role in The Rise of Skywalker when Rey was like kind of having that epiphany and former Jedi's like taught to her. Kanan was part of it. He did that, and now he's done. Like he's even said, like he's like Freddie Prinze Jr. has even said, I don't want to come back for another role. Like, and it's like I don't blame him. Like your character, like what had to be done with your character to help the rebels was your turning point and like the ending of your character's time. Like there's no need for him to appear in Ahsoka or any of that. And I think that's like what Mark Hamill might do is if his character needs to appear for like a quick speaking role like that, he'll do it.
I would like to think that there's some people out in the industry that don't just do it for the money, and they would do it because they love it just that much. I still believe that he loves it just like Harrison Ford loves it, and if Carrie Fisher was still alive, she'd be loving it and engrossed into the universe still as well. But I think also with these people, they do want to see that next generation. Like, hey, stop fucking calling me every week. I don't want to come back this week. I don't want to come back next week. Maybe not next month. Give it to the next up and comer. Give it to a no-namer. Make him a household name, because that's what they were at some point. They were nobodies. Harrison Ford, he had a minor exposure with George Lucas in a film called American Graffiti. Just before Star Wars came out, George used Harrison Ford and thought, man, he'd be a fucking great fit for this. And yes, he fit right on in there. It's perfect. But again, at some point, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill are the greats within the Star Wars franchise. They were nobodies.
Alec Guinness, like, shit on everything Star Wars because the fact of the matter is that's what a lot of people like knew him for, like towards the end of his life, was because of Star Wars. And he's like, he has this amazing catalog before the Star Wars movies. Like, he didn't mind doing it. Like, he thought it was an entertaining thing. Like, he's like, if you read like his bios about it, like he did enjoy it. He did working with it. He loved working with the cast because they were so respectable. And he even said, like, it was like training a new generation of actors because of like how old he was like, at the time. But when he would be out in public, people would come up to him and only talk to him about Star Wars. And even after like everything was done, they were like, oh, well, do you think this would happen? This would happen. He's like, I don't know. And I don't care.
Wow.
Yeah. He was very critical of like the role later in his life.
Why did he do it? Like, was it just for money or do you?
No, he enjoyed like the script and everything, but like it's the thing, like it's the fandom and everything. Like he wasn't like the hugest like fan of at the end. Because like again, he's had this amazing catalog, and everybody just only came up about Star Wars, never about like any of his other stuff prior to that.
So, go ahead, Leo, because I'm going to go off on this tangent.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was critical about it. Interesting.
We did have a lot of great opportunities over the years, and Leo, I know you were there for the very start. This is before, Chris, you got into it, but we did Detroit Fanfare Comic-Con back in 2013. And we were able to talk with a few people, and one person in particular, I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name. So give me a second while I look for it, and I'll look for it after I'm done talking, because he gave a great interview. And it was before the interview that he was wanting to know the direction where we wanted to take this interview. And I'm really happy, and I'm going to bring up his name, Nate. Nate did a fantastic job on knowing more about the actor on more than just Star Wars. And really, the interview was not really discussed on the entire thing with Star Wars, because at the point during the interview, and I'll get the guy's name because it was a great interview, and I wasn't expecting what happened in the interview. He was able to talk and live in memory of what he did life before Star Wars, and he was so deep into this memory that he had, where it brought the guy to tears. and he was talking about his past, and it was such a real raw fucking emotion, and it's beautiful. It had nothing to do with Star Wars, and that was the big push on why he was there, and that was like his fucking banner and everything that's behind where his table was out there on the convention floor. But he has such a wild and extensive career, more than just that one thing. I do feel bad for those guys and gals and even the kids that are known just for that one thing. But if they have such a huge fan base for just that one thing, it's going to be really hard. It's like when we did Ernie Hudson, right? Ernie Hudson has been, when we interviewed him, a lot more than just Ghostbusters. But that year that we did the interview with Ernie Hudson, that was the only thing that was there at his table was just fucking Ghostbusters. And of course, that was huge when the Ghostbusters film was coming out, because they did have the one cast member that recently passed away. And that was starting to get the birth of, starting to get into the birth of the female cast of Ghostbusters. So that was like the talk of the town. And that was probably a big reason why he was on the convention circuit, because it was in such relevance. But Mr. Hudson himself, his catalog goes way back. And a lot of people have really outstanding things on their IMDb's and their resumes alone. And it sucks that when you hear something like that just before he passed, he was tired of talking about it because that's all he was known for. Somebody who recently passed too was Gene Hackman. I remember watching an interview. Of course, this is after Gene Hackman passed away, because now all of a sudden people want to know more about him and they want to make documentaries, and they're asking all these questions. And there was an interview done by Gene Hackman a couple years ago. And he said, nobody's asking about Gene Hackman anymore. Asked me 10, 15 years ago, it would be hard for me to get a sit-down interview with me because of how popular I am. But now that I'm not in anything, Hollywood doesn't want anything to do with me, nobody's knocking on my door. Nobody's asking questions.
Wow, that's really...
I know, and it's almost like he was begging that he wanted to be in the industry again. He wanted people to ask questions, and I don't think he really would have cared or mind if you were to bring up one fucking movie throughout the entire interview. But nobody wanted to do anything with him because he was no longer relevant. And it's very sad when you start to hear that kind of stuff. And God damn it, I want to bring up this real quick. Stan Lee. Holy shit. When he was getting, he was knocking on death's door for, it seemed like a long time, right? And how many times can you get the same fucking story out of the guy? The same fucking story. I mean, it was almost like it was scripted. But it was so sad to see this little short clip that I saw online. Stan, this was not too far before he passed. It was one of the last big convention pushes that he did. But he's sitting there on this golf cart, and he's kind of out of it. You can tell it's been a long ass day for him. And, obviously Stan was up there in age when he passed away. And Stan's handlers, I don't know if it was his direct handler or if it was like the convention event person, that it was what the situation was. I don't know. But it's almost like they were forcing Stan to get up off that golf cart and, hey, you got to do this again and you got to do that. And then right after that, you have to go here. And I think the comment was, and I'm paraphrasing what Stan said, he said, God, you guys are really getting your money out of me.
Oh, no, yeah. There's the guy was talks that there's people that were associated with Stan that are being investigated for elder abuse with him.
And I know that those talks were come out, and I was still talking with other people that I don't really talk to much now, but we got into a lengthy conversation about the elder abuse. And we hear about it all the time and everything about just the local elder abuse that happens. But even to someone like Stan Lee, he's not even safe for the marketing and the fucking culture that Hollywood is. And just, man, when he passed away, it was sure sad to hear his end life. He did a lot throughout his career.
Yeah.
But fuck, man, he was worked till the day he died. He had to have been. But I'd be curious on those documentaries. I really want to watch them and understand and see what happened, because it's really unfortunate when you hear those stories. Extremely. Oh my God. So that was another fucking tangent here. So was there anything that...
Because you've been at a few conventions where he was in it.
Yeah, I've had a chance to be at the same convention just like other great individuals from, I guess, every realm of whatever fucking universe. I've been in the same building as him, never talked to him, never interacted with him. And I don't even know what I would be honestly saying. I'm not that person that needs to walk up to the table to get a picture, to get a photo. I would much rather shake the person's hand or fist bump
Yeah.
them and just tell them thank you for everything that you've done for so many years that has helped me in my life to get through whatever great or dark times that I was able to get through. Without Stan Lee's creative side, I mean, that was a person. I'll say this: that was a man in that industry at that time where there were still a lot of unknowns, and he did for what the industry is today. Fuck, man, look at all the Marvel movies that are out right now. None of that would be here if it wasn't for him creating all those characters and pulling those late hours and doing the work of going to publicists back in the day and just drawing all that shit out scene after scene and the coloring and the stories. And that was a whole lot of work to do back in his day when he did it. It's just a bummer he wasn't really, in my mind, to reap those benefits. Not fully. I'm sure he lived a good life, right? He was a millionaire. Who knows? Probably made billions of dollars throughout his lifetime. But yeah, I don't think he was treated very right to the very end.
And
Just
you see the
major bummer.
documentary? You got a chance to watch it, Steve? Or
I have not watched any documentaries on Stan Lee. I haven't done that yet. I need to. And usually for something like that, I like to wait a while after the person has passed or something has happened to really sit down and engross myself into a documentary. The only thing that I would say differently that I've gotten into a documentary, The Fall of Diddy. I don't know why,
okay,
but again,
It's not even a documentary. If you want to watch a full in-depth documentary, just watch CNN every night or Twitch TV.
Yeah.
There we go.
And see, that's the thing, right? So why am I watching it? I'm gonna watch another documentary again after he's sentenced or whatever happens, whatever the outcome is of this court battle bullshit that's going on right now. That's why I like to wait and watch the documentary, because everything I'm watching right now is just gonna be fucking rewashed into what is already being said. So honestly, I'm probably not gonna finish off that docu-series. I'm just gonna wait.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to even go and bring that up. I think we'll probably talk about Diddy and everything that's happening at some point. It won't be during this podcast. I want that to blow over and wait to see everything that happens. The only thing I'll say about the situation is I'm fucking disappointed. God,
what's
damn.
come out? I haven't followed. I'm totally in the dark. What's happened? Like,
God, what hasn't come out? I mean, there's like
A
thousands of containers of baby oil that's been found, and just terabytes after terabytes of storage data of certain trafficking to deal with all genders, races, and ages. I don't know on how much that we should discuss. I think that will be one of those, maybe a topic of discussion. After it's all said and done, we can have a nice little block to digest everything that has happened. I understand what he did is fucked up. Same with what, for example, R. Kelly did. Does that, for me as a fan, take away that song, take away that soundtrack, take away that memory, take away that feeling that the music gives me? And it's really hard to decipher, because I don't want to come out and say, oh, yep, what Diddy did, he's a horrible person, but I still play his music every day. I'm sure someone's going to judge me and like, well, you're supporting that monster for what he has done. Am I supporting the monster for what he has done, or can I still give some kind of respect to the person for what they were able to produce? Now, also going back with it too, I always bring up this argument when people bring this up to me in person. Nobody's a fucking saint, right? Everybody's got their quarrels, their things about them. It's just, it finally happened to Diddy to where it's out in the limelight. And I'm sure there's a lot of people, I know of a lot of people in the industry still, that I will never play their songs. I will never watch their music, just because of actual in-person interactions that I know is true, because I've fucking seen it.
Yeah.
And dealt with it firsthand. So I can have hatred towards individuals because of that. And that's my own reasoning. But I'm not going to hate somebody else just because they like it and I don't. To each their own.
So, because I don't think most listeners know you have a music, experience in live music. Did you work any of the P. Diddy concerts or no? I don't think you.
Nope. I never worked a P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever he wanted to call himself. I know rappers and individuals, artists change their names. Never interacted with them. I interacted with a lot of people that have worked with Bad Boy Records. I've interacted with people with the Bad Boy Entertainment in passing, but never direct involvement with it. So it's not like I'm going to get subpoenaed to court and travel over to California or New York or wherever they're doing their litigations right now. So I'm not expecting a phone call
next week. I'll be sitting there watching Channel 7, right? Like the local news, and they'll like be talking about the Diddy case, and all of a sudden I just see Steve on TV. Like, wait, what?
Local man weighs in on Diddy case.
I'm surprised they're not televising.
And I was just gonna say, maybe I would jump on that bandwagon.
On like certain networks, but not everybody's like even looking into it.
It's not like how it's televised on how Amber Heard and Johnny Depp that trial.
Yeah, because that one was like big,
public,
that
televised, one, everything was out there.
Yes. That one was also because like so many people came to like the defense of Johnny Depp, and his big name with like being Jack Sparrow and everything he did with the kids as Jack Sparrow is what caused it to be so televised.
Well, this is also very televised too, and I will say about the parts of the documentary that I have watched, yeah, you get somebody that has that much power. They do know people within the industry, and they can make certain things disappear. I don't think he's going to be able to make everything that he has done in his past, recent and not, disappear. I believe that he is going to be going away for quite some time with everything that has come out. So I tell you that much, Leo. I know you haven't dealt with a lot of all the details on it.
Stuff like that,
no,
like
I don't say he was directly killing people. There has been talks of him hiring hits out on others for people that, again, for what I just said, he's a person that has power in the industry. So there's no doubt in my mind that if there was a competitor or somebody out there that was trashing him, to have that person go away, it could benefit him. And I could see him, being charged with something like that, or making some type of arrangement to make that thing happen. That I'm sure eventually is all going to come out in the courts. Now, there has been already confirmation to do with certain things. I believe the gentleman's name was Kid Cudi, that P. Diddy did want to see him killed, or just to get him off of his radar. I do believe that has come out, that some kind of hit or something to where Kid Cudi's house was broken into once or maybe multiple times to try to make that plan happen. Or I don't know if it was an intimidation tactic or whatever. I haven't followed a lot of the case, so I don't want to say a lot about it and have it be false information. God forbid, everybody's fact checking everything these fucking days, right? It's very wild on everything that has opened up, and it's like Pandora's box, right? You're gonna fucking open it up and you're gonna see a lot more than what is just there on the surface. So I believe that we're weeks into probably month-long delegations for what's going to be happening, for who's going to come forward during this, and all these side stories and documentaries. So yeah, it's fucking wild. I'm glad I'm not him right now. I'll tell you that much. I'm glad I'm not close to the individual too, because yeah, if you were close to the individual at any point during that time in the career, you're probably gonna be tossed on the stand. You're gonna be asked and drilled with a lot of questions.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah. Huh. Okay. Craziness.
So in layman's terms, boys and girls, don't be a piece of shit. And you won't have to worry about that kind of stuff with your own, right?
Yes. And it sounds like the people around them are going to be on the stand too now. Anybody that's worked with them. And
I believe that people that have been around him for so long, they're going to have to be very honest on the stand, because I don't know if that would make a lot of individuals an accomplice to the things that he is being accused of. So they also need to clear their name at the same time. If not, I can see them going down with him because of everything that has come out. Of course, they're accusations, right? Nothing, the gavel has not hit the table from the judge. It's something that these are all accusations. Nothing has been charged with being guilty. He's still not guilty at this point. I don't know, if previous things that he's done, he's been acquitted of previous things. I can see an acquittal to be extremely hard at this point. Extremely hard.
I wonder how long the trial is going to go for. Because it's probably going to be pretty long.
I can see this trial probably going on for maybe close to the end of the year. Maybe October, December timeframe, we'll finally get close to a verdict.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot. I mean, there's ties. I'll say this much. There's ties with Death Row Records, how there's a lot of East and West battle with the rap scene that I think is going to get brought up. And I don't know if there's ties that have to do with the death of Biggie or Tupac. I don't know. That's what I'm curious on, if that kind of stuff is going to come out, because there's connections and there's ties around that same time frame.
Diddy did work with Suge Knight, and it's rumored that Suge Knight was the one that initiated the hit on Tupac. So there's definitely going to be a lot of things coming from it.
Yeah, and I had no idea about Death Row East, and it's kind of funny that I'm wearing a Death Row T-shirt because it has Dobermans on it. I am. Yeah. Yeah, my webcam is still on. Yeah, check this shit out.
Yeah, you.
Jesus.
So, I'm supporting in a way, right?
It's vintage too. Cool.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg has it now, but before then it was Death Row Records back in the day, and there was a West, and they tried to bring in a Death Row East on over to the New York side of things, and that's where I stopped to watch the documentary last night, or I guess I shouldn't say I stopped. My brain stopped. I just fucking passed out. It was a long-ass day. And getting into that battle that I never knew existed, just because I was younger. I listened to the music, but I had no idea that there was a huge controversy between West versus East rap music. So it's kind of wild to see a lot of those inner workings. And that's why I appreciate those documentaries, because I don't know that kind of shit, and I'm not going to spend hours of my day researching it, because I have hours of my day to do other things like play Stalker 2 and do nothing with my life.
Well, you barely have enough time as it is, so yeah.
There's 24 hours in a day. It's okay to not sleep for all day. Get shit done.
Speaking of getting shit done, I gotta go and get ready for my part-time job. Yay.
Yeah, we've been doing this for quite a bit here for the podcast, so I appreciate everybody's involvement, and it's still going strong. Let's go ahead and get through a few things real quick. Going on the YouTube side of things, we're just going to give some community shout outs. So this was on a Halo Infinite video for a collectibles guide. We did gain another subscriber from Wyatt Bailey's 763. Subscribing, helping me out 100% on my playthrough. I only played the campaign once during launch. Next one is coming. Leo the TMNT, the Amazing Spider-Man Oscorp collectible guide, came here after IGN failed me. Thank you for being better than a multi-million-dollar corporation. So, Leo, the TMNT, you're very fucking welcome. I'm glad that we can beat out IGN when it comes to that.
That's funny.
DW2 Art commented on Motor City Comic Con 2019. Paracel Comics, God, I remember that interview. It was a great person. Anyway, he said, hilarious promo and great interview. I love your work, Paracel. So I will give a shout out to Paracel, and have not seen him because we have not gone to Motor City Comic Con. But if he is there, he remembered me from last time. It was one of my most favorite interviews that I have ever done. Major props to that guy. Major
I think
props.
They're doing it again in November. Maybe we can look into that.
That's something that even if I don't go, or we don't go down there for press, even just to go down there and talk to the guy. I mean, he is one of those people for me. If you're having a bad fucking day, you talk to Paracel, you're having a better fucking day. His energy, everything about him is just, it's great. And the last one, Delmore XO on Assassin's Creed 3 Frontier Treasure Chest. Thank you for helping me 10 years later. For everybody that wrote on in.
Wow.
They must be playing the remastered version.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Remastered Assassin's Creed 3. They were tough and bitch about remastered bullshit, but yes, it is nice that we do have those people that are coming to our site, to any kind of social media, and they're still able to do that and be a part of our life and give us that feedback. So I love seeing that kind of shit. Even if it is bad feedback, I love bringing that stuff up too. So anybody out there that wants to bring up the bad feedback, I will go ahead and bring that out, and we'll definitely get a couple laughs and probably tell off a couple people to make ourselves feel better about our lives. And it will go on down in EGS Productions history on how much hatred and love that we get on a weekly, monthly basis.
I was gonna say I'm surprised how positive everything was, because the internet can be pretty toxic. So that's cool to see.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely those videos and those comments that will tell me to jam the Xbox 360 controller up my ass sideways. So usually when I read that kind of stuff, I'll give a thumbs up.
Oh, I like that. That's even better. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'll write in, I try, but it only works one way. It's just. There's a thing, right? Don't feed the trolls, and that's very true. You don't want to feed the trolls, but it's also to have some kind of comedic bit of optimism, glasses half full type bullshit. Because the world can be an extremely brutal place.
Very cool.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can just share this here real quick with you guys here. I don't know. Can you guys see anything?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Couple of the duds that we had for Leo. You were asking about Grunk and how that works. So this was me on a Halo battlefield with a stretched out Master Chief helmet there.
That's great.
This is your profile picture, Leo. And then
That's what it came up with? Okay.
Yeah, so Chris, just so you know,
Oh, God.
I look like I'm a realtor.
Yeah, you look buff. I couldn't let that happen.
I know. I was like, what the?
Oh yeah, so that was your stock image right there. That is what you gave me to go off of, and that's what it came up with. That was one of them that it came up with. There was another one for me. One. That was another one for you, Leo. I gave you another hammer over here. I don't know what's going on with your eyebrows. Kind of mismatched there.
Oh my God, this is hilarious.
Chris, that was the one that
what the fuck?
It gave you. So let me see if I can pull up your stock photo that you sent me, just so Leo can get a.
What are you prompting?
So Chris's, it actually, so that was from yours right there.
Yeah.
That was another one that it gave me.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
Right.
So like a Family Guy feel. And it gave you being really happy. I couldn't have that.
I like
you're not that happy. Couldn't do this one because it has the NHL down at the bottom. Why would you? Leo, there was a good one that it gave you that I really came close to having you use.
That's hilarious.
Leo, nice shake weight.
A shake weight, yeah.
Yeah, so this is when between here and here you started to get extremely buff. So I had to change that prompt. You as a cartoon. Another cartoon, another cartoon, different hammer with the hammer. I don't know what that is still. That's something. But see, it's weird because, and no offense, but now I don't know what the prompt changed, but now you're starting to gain weight. So your chin is sagging a lot more. So we were starting to go backwards here. Then this was a fucking just random sledgehammer that it gave you here.
Oh my God, I'm dying. I'm gonna send you a different photo. Oh my God.
No. So I think I have the photos and everything all set up. Oh yeah, this was the one. That was almost your profile picture, just to be a dickhead to you.
I look like Lex Luthor. Not about that. Oh
yeah, you look like a very large, greasy individual. But then I said, no, I can't do that to you.
Yeah,
so there was a few
prompts, man. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so there's a few things. So the reason why I'm showing you this, you guys, is I will get into the website. So this is going to be the new website for at least the About Us section. So it's going to be a huge change from what it was.
Wow.
It's going to give, and of course, it's going to be also on mobile. I don't have this page set up for mobile yet. So when it is mobile, it is a bit broken. But on this portion, it's going to give just a quick little bio.
Yeah.
And then it's going to give quick little things right here. I don't have this linked to go to anywhere yet. So that still has to be changed over. But then there's a slideshow for all those. So that will rotate through 10 different photos. And then we have our team member section.
Oh, that's cool.
And of course, everything can go ahead and change. Change out the photo. When it comes to this being clicked on, we can click and take it to another bio to go ahead and have it if you want to have like a more of an about me section for just you. When it comes to our job titles, obviously these can go ahead and change over too. Chris, for right now, I have you as the Boston Opinion Dispenser. Leo, I have you as the Couch Commander. Do you have Mike Modell as the Vector Wizard and Megan as the Queen Bitch?
We need to put one in for Mike for Donald.
Yeah.
I already got ahead of you, so I have it in memory.
Oh man, I gotta.
So there will be
the
a
funny
section.
thing is that photo looks a lot more like him than our photos look like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did his a certain way, and I wanted to keep certain things. So if you notice, I do have a Red Wings hat still back there, and I have the Spice Girls photo.
Cool.
I at least want to do like more of how this highlights and it lifts up. So I want to be able to click and then take to, if you guys want, you can have your own about me, like more in depth. And I want to at least do something for Mike. So you should be able to click on it. And then every video that he was a part of, I want to go ahead and put him, like have his own little page on here. So everything that he did for EGS Productions, it can go and have his own little thing.
Yeah, the website's, I mean, I can't, yeah, I'm shocked. It's amazing. You did a great job.
Well, thank you. It's getting there, right? We're in a day and an age. Maybe. So I thought about this. Why the fuck do we need a website? We really don't. We have everything else for social media. They can just go to YouTube, find all of our videos. They can go to Spotify, find all of our podcast. Maybe I'm just stuck in the day and age where I was one of those people to where it was cool to have a .com. I was there for the birth of the internet. So to have a .com, to have some kind of a platform, something that is all you, perfect. That's why I want to have it, because I think it's cool. But then also it's going to work in a way where if we do get shut down on a different platform of any kind, at least we'll still have a home base to where the content can still be generated and it doesn't have to stop just because, whatever happened to whatever platform at any point in time. I think overall, though, for the podcast, it was a lot of fun. I just hope that everything is going to stop and save and everything's going to be good, and this will not be lost or a lost cause. I think overall, though, if this podcast is able to come out and be successful, I really want to see this becoming more of a thing, because it's so much easier now doing this instead of, obviously, Mike was alive when I did that with Mike, but even with Ricky, when he came out here, he had to come out to the house. So he's traveling to the office, or I'm going to his place. We got to set up a day. We got to set up a time, travel to and from, fit it into the day. But now I can just go ahead and hide out in the back office. You guys, Leo, you're doing it on your goddamn cell phone. So you could be in a different country for all the fuck I know, working, right? I'm still thinking that you're taking a shit. I'm just waiting for the toilet to flush. You said there were supposed to be sirens going off at your place at 1 o'clock. I haven't heard any sirens, so I'm glad that the zombie apocalypse has not opened up. Oh, shit. Let's talk about sirens real quick. Yeah, so go ahead and talk about what's going on with you, and then I want to bring something up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's the first full weekend of every month, so today's not a full weekend. So no sirens.
Next weekend. Speaking of sirens, Chris, you don't know anything about this. You probably had the reminisce of it maybe last week. We had that tornado come ripping through. Pretty fucking close to the house. Yeah, so close to where our local tornado siren did go off. And that fucker, besides a test, never goes off. So everybody, and I mean everybody, at about the midnight hour, was thrown under the house to wait for that tornado to pass on by. It was wild. Luckily, everybody was safe. There were a few touchdowns that happened around us, but holy shit. You talk about should be having a plan for when that kind of stuff happens. Yeah, I would most definitely recommend it for every person, every family, every household.
Well, it's like you got to buy a shelter now.
Oh, I think under the house it does it very well, and it's funny. I was talking to my significant other about this. That what I've always wanted to do is have a storage container or two somewhere in the backyard or just somewhere for that bit of seclusion. For one, it would be nice to have an underground office. I think that'd be fucking awesome. Have EGS Productions be underground. Would that be fucking great? You don't know.
EGS underground.
Broadcasting from 30 feet down.
I'm dying.
But, besides that, though, I don't know, man. I don't want to call myself a prepper by any means. But if shit goes crazy, and I remember because it's still fresh in our minds from COVID 5 years ago, right?
Yeah. Sure.
It got a little wild around here where people that they don't longer live down the road. But I had a buddy that lived down the road. And right when that was happening, his garage and his house both got broken into. And he was fucking looted. And I can just imagine on other things that happened, but it was just very wild times. A lot of unknowns, a lot of not knowing how that entire thing was going to go on. And honestly, I was maybe kind of expecting shit to kind of happen on the homestead too. So you're always keeping your head on a pivot and kind of being ready for self-defense. Don't want to say that it act like the fucking atom bomb dropped, right? But I don't know, man. Just weird. It's a very weird feeling, just like how it was when Pokemon Go came out, and I had random people walking in my backyard to catch Pokemon. Fucking strange. Didn't think you'd have to deal with seeing 2-3 people walking in. So this is when I was living in the garage. And as you know, there was that swamp on the one side and then the fucking cornfield way out in the back. And there'd just be people gazing in the back like they're fucking cattle. Groups of them catching Pokemon. Strange.
Raising cattle. Oh.
I am just about talked out of everything article-wise, everything that I wanted to bring up. I am good to go ahead and stop this. Leo and Chris out there, is there anything you guys want to go ahead and bring up?
No, I sent what I wanted to bring up in the thing.
Yeah, this was really fun. This is great.
Definitely. It was fun. I appreciate everybody's involvement out there. Until the next podcast, 320 comes out, I am Steve.
I'm Chris.
I'm Leo.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.